Hello everyone, I'm Void, and welcome to my first video on YouTube. I've been seeing this clan generator challenge that's been going around a few years, people taking a randomly generated clan with warrior names and descriptions from a website and turning them into actual characters. And while that's cool, I've never really got into it. None of the generated clans were clicking with me. But then YouTube recommended me a series called Galaxy Clan by Nyoku Arts, link in the description, and I was introduced to the similar ClanGen art challenge, and that spoke to me. So that's what I'm here to do today. Basically, you take the game ClanGen, also linked in the description, make a clan, play through a year, and draw the cats as they are at that point. Then you just continue year by year as far as you want. And let me say, I've had fun with this. Let's get into it. Meet Old Lotus Clan. This isn't the clan I'll be playing as, but it's important to its backstory. It's the predecessor to my game clan, New Lotus Clan, or just Lotus Clan. Old Lotus Clan was an old clan, having lasted about 600 moons, or 50 years. It lived in a forest territory with a lake in the center, and was bordered by its neighbors Weasel Clan, Strike Clan, and Laurel Clan. Its name came from two things: its leader, Lotus Star, and the lotuses which grew on the shores of the lake, which Lotus Clan cats cultivated and cared for. However, it was not to last. A mysterious disease which would come to be known as Bleak Cough ravaged the clan. At first, Lotus Clan's allies gave aid, but it quickly became clear there was no cure and they were left to fend for themselves. They didn't last much longer after that, completely disbanding less than a year later. Old Lotus Clan's last leader, Ash Star, died cold and alone in the ruined camp. Roughly 550 moons passed. The other three clans still existed, but they were struggling. And then something unexpected happened. Star Clan cats, once from Old Lotus Clan, started showing up, acting as guides. And then, a new clan, claiming to be New Lotus Clan, showed up out of nowhere. This was unexpected. No one had spoken the name Lotus Clan in generations. No outsiders knew of it. One of the cats, their purported leader, had even been blessed by Star Clan itself. They had no choice but to begrudgingly allow this new clan to exist, lest they face Star Clan's judgment. And that's the basic backstory. On to the cats. First off, Star Clan. Now, I don't know how this happened, but no one died the first year. So, all we have is our Star Clan guide, Floodpaw. Floodpaw was one of Old Lotus Clan's last apprentices, and was murdered in his sleep when he caught the illness, his killer seeing it as an act of mercy. He was just 6 moons old when he died, barely an apprentice. He was strict and interested in clan history. There's not really much else to share about him, at least for now. He doesn't do anything in-game, but I have a backstory and personality I'll be giving to you over time. The first living cat is Crooked Star. She's a 108-moon-old she-cat who is charismatic and a good mediator, and she is New Lotus Clan's first leader. She only has 8 lives, because she did lose one when a bolt of lightning hit the clan. I know it was supposed to be like a storm, but I can't stop imagining it being completely dry out and a single bolt of lightning just fuck you in particular to Crooked Star. She then took on an apprentice a moon after, who we will get to. I rejected a love confession from her deputy, got a little bit ill, and did a little eavesdropping, but that's about it. She was living her best life. Except for the dying bit. Next up, the deputy, whose name is Rosie Rose. Yeah, I was originally going to make her leader, but her name was too good to lose. She's 66 moons old, fierce, a great speaker, and a great kit sitter. She was the mentor of Goosepaw, who we'll get to later. She didn't really do much this year, unfortunately, but she did scare off an intruder and was eavesdropping in another clan at the end of the year. And of course she got rejected by Crooked Star. Hopefully she does more next year. I already know she gets an accessory in Moon 13, but I won't be showing it here. The medicine cat is Gullfeather. He's a 41-moon-old Tom who is strict and has a dark forest affinity, of all things. However, he mistakes this link for a close bond with Star Clan, thinking that them talking to him is prophecies. He is wrong. He woke suddenly from a vivid dream one moon, so I'm interpreting that as he's unknowingly visiting the dark forest in his dreams. New Lotus Clan doesn't have any dark clans in the forest yet, but other clans do, and there are out-of-game Old Lotus Clan Dark Forest cats, so they might play a part in my story weaving. Just to say. So far, he's gotten 2 quote-unquote prophecies from the Dark Forest and 1 omen from an unknown source. He's become friends with one of the younger warriors, Rhymebreeze, who surprised him with her interest in herbs. Oh, Yeah, and he kept eavesdropping on people, like, consistently. I don't know if he's plotting something or just nosy. The oldest current warrior in the clan is Yellow Leopard, a 117-moon-old she-cat who is adventurous and a renowned hunter. She was the mentor of Rhymepaw, and the two found a badger set while on patrol at one point. I don't really have much else on her. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of taking way too few notes while playing, which is something I intend to rectify in year 2. By then, Yellow Leopard will probably be retired. She's getting to that age, but she seems cool. Next up is Gyoza, the second outsider to join the clan in Moon 6. She was a former kitty pet and brought her with her 2 kits, Ferret Kit and Knot Kit, who were already warriors as of year 1's end. That's a lie. They became warriors in Moon 13. She's 113 moons old, shameless, and a talented swimmer, and she actually ended up mentoring one of her own kits, Notpaw. She lied about something at one point, so I get the impression she's not necessarily the most honest, and Rosie Rose was eavesdropping on her at one point at the end of the year. Then there's Rubble Gorse, the 84-moon-old childish she-cat who is a good storyteller. Oh yeah, this clan is almost entirely female. There is one current warrior who is a Tom. Rubble Gorse was the mentor of Hazypaw, a young cat who joined from outside the clan as an apprentice. During Moon 3, she believed she was part of a new prophecy, but nothing really came of that, so she might have been mistaken. We'll just have to find out. Also, interestingly, she was seen in a very heated argument with a Laurel Clan warrior at one point. Also, she got in an argument with a kit, where she said very hurtful things. I only noticed when I was writing the script. Rubble Gorse. What the fuck? Now for Prance Shimmer, the 79-moon-old cunning lorekeeper. She was spotted early on searching for a Laurel Clan cat near the border, and the next moon she started to believe she was part of something greater. Crooked Star eavesdropped on her during Moon 12, which brings our number of cats being eavesdropped on Moon 12 up to 2, which isn't a lot, but what the hell, guys? Just talk to each other. She mentored Ferretpaw after his first mentor had kits and stepped back, though she didn't do much else. Taking a huge jump in ages, we have the 20-moon-old Rhyme Breeze. She is strict and a fish-like swimmer. I actually didn't know what rhyme meant, so I looked it up. It's a type of frost formed by rapidly cooling water, so that's neat. As an apprentice, she saved the clan's at the time only kit from drowning. Then a few moons later found a badger set with her mentor Yellow Leopard. She gained her warrior name the same moon as Nutpaw and Ferretpaw became apprentices and was treated for an injury later that moon. I had fun drawing her, so I hope to see more of her. At the end of the year, she got a vision from StarClan and told Gullfeather, who was unable to interpret it. Yellow Leopard taught her to use words over violence and to step out of her comfort zone. When she got her warrior name, she was honored for her enterprise. Next is the 15-moon-old Hazy Frost, the first cat to join as an outsider, having been a loner. Since she was so young, she started as an apprentice, being mentored by Rubble Gorse. She's compassionate and a great climber. I really love her design, which is a shame, because she did not do anything this year. Yo, go girl, give us nothing. Please be more interesting next year. Rubble Gorse taught her to be more erratic, avoid fights, and step out of her comfort zone. When she got her warrior name, she was honored for her justice. And next up is the mysterious kit/apprentice I've been alluding to. Lightning Burst! That's right, Krogastar took on an apprentice named Lightning 1 moon after losing a life to a lightning strike. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. She's 14 moons old, adventurous, and an excellent teacher. When she was a kit, she almost drowned but was rescued by Rhyme Breeze, and the same moon as she was apprenticed, she received a vision from StarClan. She was also feeling resentful at one point that so much was expected of her. I cannot wait to see what happens with this girl. Krogastar taught her to have strong inner morals, but failed to teach her to adapt. of the cats that should technically still be apprentices is Ferretfoots, one of Gyoza's kits who joined alongside her. He's 12 moons old, arrogant, and extremely clever. He technically gained his warrior name in Moon 13, but since I was going off their Moon 13 info, you get to see it anyways. He didn't do much except feel unappreciated, sprain his paw, and get bullied by a kid. Prince Timber taught him to avoid fights, be resilient, and learned how to better solve problems. He was honored for his hard work. Then there's Ferretfoot's sister, Nutstone. Again, didn't get warrior name until Moon 13, but whatever. She's 12 moons old, righteous, and clever. She did even less than her brother, being completely honest. But Gyoza taught her to disregard rules that don't suit her, how to step out of her comfort zone, but also failed to teach her how to adapt. She was honored for her integrity. In the Elder's Den, we have one cat, Shadow Willow. He's a 129 moon old Tom who is strict, has valuable insight, and is a great mediator. He was already quite old when he joined the clan, but didn't retire until Moon 12, and did so reluctantly. Gullfeather was eavesdropping on him during Moon 5, and during this time he would not allow himself to rest, so he probably knew. That said, he has an extremely good relationship with the medicine cat, being in the high green of platonic love, so it's unlikely that it was out of distrust. He also thought that he was meant for something greater at one point, but he did end up retiring, so that never really played out. First up in the nursery is Boorish Spot. She's 52 moons old, ambitious, a learner of lore, and has 3 kits: Time Kit, Crouch Kit, and Maple Kit. She joined the clan with them, formerly being a loner, forced out of her home by a terrible event. She joined pretty late, in Moon 11, so she didn't really get a chance to do anything. All 3 kits are 4 moons old. Time Kit is polite and has an active imagination. Crouch Kit is bossy and constantly climbing. And Maple Kit is attention-seeking and interested in clan history. Like their mom, they haven't had the chance to do anything, but they'll become apprentices and most definitely warriors during Moon 2. And our other nursery queen is Goosescar, with her 4 kits: Weevil Kit, Copse Kit, Pansy Kit, and Piper Kit. She started off as an apprentice, but became a warrior in only the 2nd moon. She's 23 moons old, compassionate, a good hunter, and a lore keeper. For the short period of time she was an apprentice, her mentor was Rosie Rose, who gave her a love of lore keeping and influenced her to be less keen on socializing. That said, she ended up in a relationship with an outsider who she refuses to speak of, and ended up having kits. When given her warrior name, she was honored for her empathy. All of Goosescar's kits are 5 moons old, so they'll be apprenticed soon. Weevil Kit is bossy and interested in clan history. Goosefeather was eavesdropping on her, but considering the same moon she was trying to follow him everywhere, I think he was just trying to keep her out of trouble. She also has dreams of being a deputy and bossing everyone around. Copse Kit is a bully, oddly observant, and a lover of stories. She was briefly in the medicine den, but ended up okay. Pansy Kit is quiet, a mossball hunter, and never sits still. When he's particularly upset, he goes completely silent and can go days without a word. Piper Kit is another bully, but also quick to help. He made fun of Ferretpaw and teased Shadow Willow, but Ferretfoot was more bothered by it than the Elder. I do feel a little bit bad for Pansy Kit, considering he's in a litter with a bossy kit and 2 bullies, but what can you do? the final cat of the clan is Little Hatchkit, found abandoned at just 1 moon old. He's 4 moons old, a know-it-all, and quick-witted, but there's not much else to say about him. He doesn't have any parents, so he's kind of just communally raised by the clan as a whole. And that's Lotus Clan as of year 1. It's kind of big, so I'm hoping it won't get to be unmanageable. If it gets too big, I'll turn on mass extinction events, but it's not that point. Yet. Something to note, year 1 was done entirely in classic mode, but I did go into the code and swap it to expanded mode, so every year from here on will be done in that mode. I found I just prefer expanded mode, personal thing. Now for a quick segment on the 3 bordering clans, Weasel Clan, Strike Clan, and Laurel Clan. Weasel Clan is a cunning clan that lives in a shadier part of the forest where they camp in a hidden grotto. Strike Clan is a bloodthirsty clan that lives in an area that once had a lot of two-leg activity but hasn't been inhabited by them in years. And Laurel Clan is a mellow clan that lives in an open area that gets a lot of sun. Laurel Clan is supposed to be the chill one, but it's actually had the most internal drama so far. Namely, the first leader, Hatchstar, was murdered by a cat from her own clan. She was lured to a pack of dogs in what initially looked like just a morning walk around the territory and abandoned to die. And this was a single moon after she had a litter of half-clan kits. Fun stuff! She was 161 moons old, adventurous, a good kit-sitter, and had a dark forest affinity. Fortunately, she hadn't actually done anything evil, so she still got into Star Clan. Now on to the living leaders. Mossy Star of Laurel Clan, Fern Star of Strike Clan, and Loud Star of Weasel Clan. Mossy Star is 59 moons old, adventurous, very clever, and an incredible runner. He wasn't surprised that he ended up outliving Hatch Star. She was extremely old, but he hadn't expected her to go out like that. Now, he doesn't know she was murdered. As far as he's concerned, she just had an unfortunate but unforeseeable run-in with a pack of dogs. Fern Star is 47 moons old, insecure, a good meat-eater, and a great hunter. She never expected to be made leader, and as such was not at all prepared for the responsibility. She often doubts her ability to lead, and leans on her deputy for support and help in decision-making. Her self-doubt wasn't aided by the fact she was captured by 2 legs and held captive for a few days before escaping. Girl's a bit of a mess. And Loud Star is 44 moons old, troublesome, a fast runner, and a good teacher. Like Fernstar, she ended up becoming leader extremely young, but unlike Fernstar, she's a bit too confident in her abilities, and her older and more experienced deputy often has to keep her in check. Strike Clan actually went to war with them for territory early in the year, which caused her to take her role a little more seriously, and there were no deaths, only treatable injuries from border scraps. That said, she does have a habit of calling clan meetings, and promptly forgetting exactly what she wanted to say. The deputies of each clan are Firefluff of Laurel Clan, J-Stripe of Strike Clan, and Heathmore of Weasel Clan. Firefluff is 103 moons old, ambitious, a good teacher, and a murderer. Firefluff is the one who led Hatchstar to a pack of dogs, ensuring her death, and spun a fabricated tale of her nobly sacrificing herself to save him when he returned to camp. I'm entirely sure this was done as a power grab. He didn't have a hate bar for her, only a minor dislike. And, well, it worked. He ended up being made deputy. J-Stripe is 31 moons old, charismatic, and a beloved kit-sitter with a deep dark forest bond. Due to Fernstar's insecurity, she's able to convince her to let her take the reins of the clan, and it was her idea to go to war with Weasel Clan. However, this was largely unsuccessful. Neither clan gained or lost anything, and the war ended when both sides were too tired to continue. She probably won't ever become officially leader, but she's fine with that. She basically already is anyways. And Heathmore is 85 moons old, cold, and a good fighter. Despite his leader's troublesome nature, he's rather attached to Loudstar, having a high security part with her. As the more experienced of the two, he often finds himself having to act as a guide for Loudstar, though he hopes she'll be ready to act on her own once he inevitably dies, or, hopefully, retires. He's under no illusion he'll ever become leader, but he is fine with that. Finally, the Medicine Cats, Palebranch and Sharppaw of Laurel Clan, Zinnia Tiger of Strike Clan, and Pod Dash of Weasel Clan. Palebranch is 95 moons old, cold, and a learner of lore. Her apprentice Sharppaw, the only medicine cat apprentice currently in the clans, is 9 moons old, bloodthirsty, and quick to make peace. He concerns me. Zinnia Tiger is 102 moons old, compassionate, and a good speaker with an unshakable Dark Forest link. Strike Clan is generally close to the Dark Forest, much more so than any other clan. They even stopped using the clan's moonstone/pool equivalent, the Rainbow Pool, in favor of their own communications bot. And Pod Dash is 98 moons old, confident, fast as the wind, and a great storyteller. I'm pretty sure he's the only normal medicine cat here. Congratulations, Pod Dash, you aren't insane! And that's all for year 1. Given how long this took to make, I have absolutely no idea when year 2 will happen, but I'll do my best to keep this ball rolling. I might even make some supplemental lore videos if I'm feeling up to it. We'll see. Anyways, see you next time!